Tony Daley, Villa, Wolves and England international, one of the deadliest wingers in the game, notorious for tearing the opposition's defence to shreds.
Sometimes you look at players and you realise straight away that they've got something extra special.
He can take the ball from virtually the edge of his own box and run the whole length of the pitch and score.
I actually think he would be a better player if he weren't such a nice fellow.
He said one day these feet can worth millions.
I don't know where he get the gift from, but it was from God.
He has a hunger for the game.
At 17, you're earning big money.
We're paid probably better than anybody else in the country.
Wives have to be the backbone of football. If they break, the player can break.
When he gets the ball, there's an electrifying feeling along the stadium.
As far as concerned, he's going to make it. Nothing in the world can stop being a professional footballer.
Chance for Daley!
Tony grew up in Newtown, Birmingham. One of 7 children, he was a shy boy who expressed himself through his devotion to the game of football.
He was football mad. I couldn't get anything done but football. When he was very young, he used to kick the ball up and down every minute.
Straight after school, first thing I did was kick the ball. You know, Mum looked out the window, nobody there. 5 minutes later, it's all clear now, do the same thing again.
I watch him over the school playing the ball, and other kids gone home and he's still there. You knock the window and tell him to come in. Couldn't get him to stop playing football, don't care how I try.
You could put him the right wing, left wing, or play him straight down the middle, and he'd score your goals and create things. And to be honest with you, at his age then, 11, 12, all the way through to 17, there wasn't anyone to stop him.
I wanted to be a footballer and I had to have the ball and was playing. And it was a case, yes, when I got the ball, I would never pass to anybody, you know? I would run and dribble and take her. In the end, it got a big boring, you know, and it was picking sides and that says, oh, he's not Daley in play because he's a nightmare, he doesn't pass the ball to you.
I like football. I'm dedicated to football. I don't know where he get the gift from, but it was from God.
If he's left to my dad, says, I want to be a professional footballer, he says, yeah, son, go ahead, do it. He backed me 100%. When you're 13, 14, you're just keeping the ball up, juggling it, keeping it up with your head.
You'd end up practicing little different tricks, you know, how to kick the ball up. Not like that.
One day he came in, he was so dirty and muddy. I started to quarrel as usual. Tony, I can't put up with it anymore. And he said, one day these feet can worth millions. Let's just hold him and shake him. And I look on it now, it does worth millions.
And those feet, that would eventually be worth millions, took their first steps onto the pitch with the youth team, Selby United.
He was 10 and a half, getting on for 11. He was just an exceptional talent. He was fast. He could run with the ball. Brilliant. He stood out amongst all the rest.
Mum and Dad says not many kids make the grade at professional level, so you know your education's more important. But being a stupid 13, 14-year-old, I wasn't having that, you know. I wanted to become a professional footballer. That was my big aim.
I had a call from his mother. Could I go down and see her? So I came down to see her, and he sat in the corner, and I thought there was something wrong. Anyway, I sat down and she said, I want you to have a look at this. And it was his school report.
I did start to neglect my schoolwork, and, you know, I came back, I think at the age of 13 or 14, with a very bad school report.
I looked at Tony, and he looked at me, and I said, something's not right, are they?
And Mum says, right, that's it, no football for a month.
So she said, I've told him that if his next school report isn't better than this one, you don't play for Selby anymore.
My mum, very kind, gentle woman, to be quite honest, but she can be very strict, so you don't get on the wrong side of her, full stop.
And then the following school report was absolutely brilliant.
Very soon, the 17-year-old Tony Daley found himself amongst his footballing heroes at Aston Villa.
Villa was my team at that age. Being a Birmingham lad, you know, that was the team I wanted to play for.
Sometimes you look at players and you realise straight away that they've got something extra special. He got that pace that is important in the modern game. He got good balance, he could drift past defenders as easily as anything. A delight to watch.
It's tremendous. I remember my first day, you know, you walked into the changing room and you see the likes of Mark Walters, Gary Shaw, Peter With, Dennis Mortimer, players you've admired for so many years. You know, you've actually watched on the football field, and you're actually there looking at them, you're thinking, yes, you know, this is it.
Tony had the instant respect of all the other players around him, particularly the senior players, and they tended to look after him a little bit.
They're good lads, you know, they're driving around in their nice cars and, you know, and the designer clothes and this and that, you know, and thinking, you know, if we make a career out of this, it can be successful, you know, and I'm going to quite enjoy this career.
He was quite a quiet lad, but suddenly he realised himself he got something special and was able to, I think that brought things out of him and brought his own character and personality.
Every time Tony picks up the ball and started running towards opposition goal, the whole crowd will have a sense of anticipation. He can take the ball from virtually the edge of his own box and run the whole length of the pitch and score.
The crowd instantly took to him then. This naive, young, fresh-faced lad that got in the side. It was a great prospect for the club.
He has a hunger for the game, which belies his age. You look at his stature as well. You know, he hasn't got an ounce of fat in him. He's very fit. He loves scoring goals more than anyone. He loves everything surrounding success.
At 17, you're earning big money, you know? I mean, you can go out there, you can buy your clothes you want, you know, you can go to your nightclubs, enjoy yourself, spend some money, have a good time.
It's a great feeling because, I mean, we're paid to do something which we enjoyed, and we're paid probably better than anybody else in the country. If you're blessed with that, then you've got to use it.
It was a really big thing. I was really happy with myself, really proud of myself. Actually, I've actually achieved something.
30th of June 1990, and Tony forms another partnership with his bride Michelle, who has no illusions about being a footballer's wife.
You have to be there for all the ups and downs. You have to keep them motivated all the time. If they're not motivated, they can get depressed and down. A lot of the time, I think wives have to be the backbone of football. If they break, then I think the player can break.
Looking after Tony and looking after the kids, it's a 24-hour job. So finding time to relax, you have to fit it all in. But I do make sure that I do my own thing and I do make sure I get out.
A lot of people think we live a glamorous life, we entertain, have dinner parties. It's not so that. I mean, we are normal 2.4 children.
The day I married Tony, I lost my own identity. I'm known as Tony Daley's wife. I'm not known as Michelle. There is a world side to me, but I think Tony thinks he's tamed it. Little does he know he hasn't.
I married him, not his job. His job came as part of it, which is an added bonus. You know, it's only a short career, so you make the most of it.
She knows I love my football. You know, I do enjoy it, but when the time comes for the family, she knows I'll be there for her.
I used to get annoyed about having our lives dictated to us by somebody else, especially if I was down or something. I wanted Tony to do this instead of going training or whatever. Every job has its downside and every job has its good sides. Luckily, football has a lot more good sides than downsides.
The contrast, I think, in the personality between him being a quiet family person and being on the pitch is expressing himself. All of us have that ability that we find something in us that we actually are different from how we go about our daily lives.
I'm not convinced he was so shy. Certainly within the bounds of a football club, it brought out his personality, and he liked to laugh and a joke. And there is a very barbed sense of humour in a football club, and you have to learn to live with it.
When Tony's quiet personality came up against the aggressive style of manager Ron Atkinson, sparks would fly.
I don't worry who they are. I mean, all I'm trying to do is get the maximum out of any player for his own benefit, and if he benefits, then of course the club benefits.
My relationship with Ron Atkinson, it was stormy, to say the least. I mean, let's be honest.
No, I gave him plenty of stick when he didn't produce, but that would be the same as with anybody.
Ron liked players around him who were not arrogant, but who were very positive about themselves. And if he started giving them stick, he'd like them to give stick back. And I wasn't that type of player.
Tony is a hell of a nice guy. I actually think he would be a better player if he weren't such a nice fella.
If you're not performing, he'll tell you so, and he'd be very sarcastic.
Sometimes I didn't think that he always had the desire to make the most of the talents, because he got great talents.
To be fair, we had a bit of a love-hate relationship,
In part 2, a chance to move on. Italy beckons with a multi-million-pound deal, Villa reaches new heights in the Coca-Cola Cup, and England and Wolves clamour for Tony Daley's talents.
In the new club outfit.
In 1993, Tony was sold by Villa to Italian club Udinese for a reported £2 million. But Tony's euphoria would be short-lived.
Everything was set up nicely. Actually, the club had agreed terms, a £2 million bid they'd made.
With his pace, which is so important in the Italian game, I think he could have been electrifying out there just the same as he has been in this country.
I think his style of play and his style of living actually, would be well suited to the continent.
I must admit that was the worst week of my life. Within a week we had to pack up, take the kids out of school and move to a foreign country, and I really didn't want to go.
If he decides that he's going to go to another club because they're going to pay more money, although they'll never say that, they'll always say fell out with the manager or whatever, that's a decision he has to make.
It was my aim to play in the Italian league. It was something I'd always wanted to do.
Footballers have to say that money doesn't matter. They will say that only because if they say money matters, it's going to be spread all over the press. Greedy, money-grabbing, overpaid.
Everyone kept saying think of the money, but at the end of the day, money isn't everything. It can't buy you happiness.
And for whatever reason, the thing fell down at the last minute.
The day I was supposed to sign, for some reason, pulled out.
Wolverhampton was closer. He's still got the Italian clothes in England, so I'm not doing too bad at the moment.
I was very disappointed with that. This day I've got no knowledge why it happened.
Although disappointed when the Italian deal fell through, Tony became more determined and focused about his future with Aston Villa.
The night before a game, we'll tend to get the kids in bed quite early. Tony will usually be in bed, say, between 8:30 and 9 o'clock. Tony's very relaxed and takes a lot of stuff in his stride, which is good. But if he has got a big game, I do tend to go out and come back 1 or 2 o'clock after I know he's in a deep sleep, and then he gets up quite refreshed in the morning.
We're in the dressing room now, an hour before kick-off. Everyone's just relaxed, doing their stretches, all got individual things. Half an hour before kick-off, we'll have a little team talk and getting everything ready. Your mind's on the game, how many crosses I'm going to get in, how many shots I'm going to get in.
I don't go down to watch him at the match anymore because he never scores when I go. I'm a bit nervous when they used to kick him. Sometimes I cry.
She hates watching me play, but she likes it when she hears people talking about me in the streets. Says, yes, that's my son, that's my boy.
With a full house, as we say, it's quite exciting, and you sort of want to express yourself and show all these people what you're capable of doing.
The Coca-Cola Cup, it was a fairy tale story. Everyone thought, no chance. We got absolutely no chance against Man United. Our league form was poor, losing week in, week out. Man United were playing tremendous football, if it was a foregone conclusion.
Villa have not played particularly well in the last few weeks, but they have got key players on the side and players who could win the game on their own.
My aim was do what I'd done in the schoolyard, playing football with my brother, do what I do best. You've come to a big club, why should you suddenly change?
Once he's on his game, he's just a match winner all the way. You just give him the ball and he rips. the defenders to bits.
As far as we were concerned, we were going to win that game, and we went out in a very positive attitude. When I get the ball, I enjoy taking players on and beating them. When it's successful, they love me. When it's not,
Tony's lightning quick. When he's hot, he's virtually unstoppable.
you've got the crowd behind you and there's people screaming your name. It's something I'll never forget.
As usual, Tony's outstanding performance played a key role in Villa's Coca-Cola Cup victory.
The right image is very important to me. Perhaps the way I dress, but more importantly, you know, what I do on the pitch.
If you could wear a designer outfit on the pitch, he would. Put it that way, he would.
I'm quiet and I'm shy, but perhaps, you know, that's the way I bring myself about, by the way I dress, my hairstyles and whatever.
He's tied locks, but he's shaved.
My sunny hairstyle doesn't suit me all the while. Sometimes I laugh. I tease him about it.
I'll have one haircut, have it for a while, get fed with it, try something different again.
It was just a straightforward short back and size, I think, when I first got to know him.
I'll get a lot of stick for my haircuts, but you always find a couple of weeks' time, there's a few kids who've got them as well.
I mean, I didn't even know he was doing this. I mean, he came home and this Yul Brynner walked into my house.
I think he's had some absolutely outrageous haircuts, culminating in this last one.
Tony loved anything more than me with his hair. And then when he shaved it off, I nearly passed out.
You just want to stand out on the football pitch. I mean, the best way to do it, obviously, is to play football as best as possible. But having the hairstyle to go with it as well, I mean, that was just a class act.
The lads give me stick about it, said he wanted the ball, and he's just done his hair or something like that.
I presumed he was just there having his ends redone. And he came home with no hair. A Yul Brynner. It's divorce. And he had this one little bit so I could still grab him when I needed to.
It's every footballer's dream to play for England. The high point of Tony's career came when he was asked to join the chosen few.
Personally, it was very good for me to get myself in the squad. As a professional footballer, you can't beat playing for your country.
There was an awful lot of people helped in the development of Tony Daley. I was just one of that perhaps chain, and you do feel a lot of satisfaction, professional satisfaction, in seeing a player that you've worked with progress to what is the height of any player's career, and that is to play for his country.
You pull that shirt on, what a great feeling it is. You're playing with players who are the best in the country.
If Tony plays to his maximum of his ability, he's well good enough to play in anybody's team.
When you go back when you was 9 and 10 and you're playing outside in your garden or whatever, and you're thinking, you're naming all your players, all your stars, and you're playing for your country, and you dream, that's what you dream of, and when it actually happens, you know, it's absolutely superb.
With his England debut behind him, Tony became hot property on the transfer scene and joined Wolves in a £1.25 million transfer deal.
Tony Daley.
In the new club outfit.
It's a big career move for me. I'm really delighted. I'm really going to look forward to football because I feel within a couple of years this is going to be one of the biggest clubs in Europe.
And this is the moment that all Wolves fans have been waiting for. Graham Taylor gives Tony Daley a little pat on the back and says, "Go on, son."
This club has a tradition of playing with wingers. Now, I know that you can't always stay with tradition, I'm aware of that, but I think supporters like to see wide players, and he gives us a very big attacking option.
I was delighted when he went there because I was always a Wolves supporter as a lad. He will have been disappointed the way it's turned out for him, simply because I think he spent nearly a year out with injury. And I believe Wolves supporters have yet to see the best of Tony Daley.
And here he is. He's just unable to get his first touch of the ball, thanks to Thatcher.
You've got a knock and you're injured and you're on that pitch and you're playing. You don't feel it. Carry on playing. It's only when you come off the pitch and adrenaline's gone, you know, the game's over, and you see you've got a big, massive ankle, a bruise, or knees, you know, 10 times bigger than it should have been. I'd come as a big money signing. I've only played 15 minutes for them before I got injured. It was devastating. I felt my career was in jeopardy. The position I play, I've picked up a few injuries over my career. And it's something I don't like, but, you know, it's part of the game, I'm afraid. I've had 2 very serious operations on my knee. As you can see, the scars here. This particular one I quite like, you know. I call this one the M6.
He's the talent that he's too fast, and when you're going at full speed and you get tipped over or tackled, you're going to cause more damage than normal.
Got another one here, which is my M5, which cuts across there and joins the M6.
If he's on crutches, he'll think, well, I can still take the kids to school, I can still get them dressed when he can't. You know, he tries to be like Superman, I can still do it. You know, he thinks he can do it, but he can't.
And round the corner here, we have the M42, another little one there. That's just a small one.
When someone is injured for a long time, you've got to show a lot of character within yourself to get back as quickly as possible.
He was a superstar at Aston Villa. He's not the big fish anymore. He has to pull his weight.
Come on, drive it through. Drive it through. Excellent, excellent.
A lot of players would rather be out training than do the work with the physios, because they're mean. They don't mess about.
Good. And again, once round and back.
At any moment, you know, you can just injure just like that and your career could be finished.
Good.
He's the type that'll just carry on and get fit again and do what he does best. Play football.
Chance for Daley!
You have your highs and your lows, you know. 1 minute you could be losing the game 2-0 with 10 minutes to go. It's the worst moment of your life. And then all of a sudden you've won the game 3-2. It's a great feeling.
He's very genuine, he's very honest. And there's a lot of people who respect him outside of the game.
Realise how much hard work it is.
To me, he's my best mate. I can tell him everything and anything. And he's very supportive in a lot of the things I do. As a footballer, he's trying his hardest and he'd do everything he could to make the best of whatever career he had. He's that kind of guy.
When you're 13, 14, you want to be a footballer. Whatever mum said, whatever the school teacher said, as far as I was concerned, I was going to make it. It's a big risk, it's a big gamble, but nothing in the world is going to stop me being a professional footballer. It's as simple as that.